Welcome in, everybody. I am the Crypto Bull God, and this is all in the charts. If you appreciate the content, make sure to hit the thumbs up button. Drop me a comment. You have to click the bell icon to receive all notifications to know when I go live each and every single weekday. I hope everyone is having a good day. Rough day to say the least yesterday. I'm not going to go into that. So I wasn't able to join the live stream yesterday, but glad to be back today. What's up, Brian? Welcome in. There isn't a whole lot going on in the markets right now. We saw a nice push yesterday, and quite frankly, I haven't had a lot of time to look at the charts today. So some of this is going to be, we're going to be looking in. Ricky, welcome in. Good to see you. Some of this is we're going to be examining price action together. Much of this for the first time. I've really been looking at the markets today, at least since 5 a.m. this morning. So we'll take a look and see what is sticking out today. Might be a little bit of a shorter live stream today, but something I'll do is I'll focus on kind of the key charts that are sticking out to me, things that I feel are important to update you guys on if I see something. Excuse me, but there will be time for Q&A. So if you guys have some questions on some charts that we haven't taken a look at in a while, feel free to drop them in the comments. Kathleen, good to see you. Rick, good to see you. Thank you very much. Appreciate it. Definitely a better day today than yesterday so far. So let's take a look at price action together. Let's kind of do what we always do first, and let's assess what's going on the Bitcoin chart. So this is and appreciate the support, everybody. Thumbs up. You can hide the comments. You can click the thumbs up just to try to get this content out to more people, help that YouTube algorithm. Something we routinely do on this channel, if you're new to the channel, 12-hour chart. Very important to assess the health of the 12-hour chart, okay? And the reason is the historical significance that I have presented on this channel time and time and time again. I devoted an entire video to it, actually 2 published videos to it. You can go back in my history and take a look at I think it's the most viewed video I have ever created. It has about 5,800 views or something like that, 5,000 some views. But what we're looking at here at the moment is the fact that Bitcoin is attempting to make it might not seem like a significant move, but what's going on in the charts is actually significant because we were trapped. Right? We were trapped between this 50 and 200 simple moving average. Bitcoin right now is attempting to pop up above this 50 simple moving average on the 12-hour. That is very important from a price action perspective, because what that's going to do, it's going to enable the 50 simple moving average, so long as we can get it. This is the main thing, is I want to see the close today be at about, let's look at the price action, about 29,500. I'd like to see the price close around 29,500 today. That'll be at or above the 50 simple moving average. Now, what should happen, we could get some price wicks below the 50 simple moving average, but from a candle body closing basis, what we'd like to see now that we've pushed up above the 50 simple moving average, I'd like to flip this red line, ultimately the 29,600. I'd like to flip that green for support, but I'd like to see the 50 simple moving average act as an area of support now. Now, what that'll also do is, so long as we can maintain prices up here, this is going to continue to then curl up. Remember what we've spoken to on this channel about, okay? When we got our golden cross all the way back here, okay, and we've assessed the history of the 12-hour chart, and when we're in the midst of you can call it a bull run, but when we're on our way to a blow off top, okay? Once we get this golden cross, we very seldom see the 50 cross underneath the 200, and typically the 200 will act as an area of support. We won't go much below it, right? You can see we saw one dip here, and we very quickly popped above it, right? I do not anticipate price action on the 12-hour chart closing below the 200 simple moving average on a candle body closing basis. If it does happen, I believe it's going to be something that is very quick and fleeting. I believe even quicker than the price action we saw here. So we'll have to keep an eye on. But I've tried to kind of give you guys clues in terms of if you're looking to scale into more Bitcoin or what you can expect on the price. 12-hour chart's one of the main charts. Okay, so that's the most important thing that I would focus on for the 12-hour chart. You can see the MACD is beginning to pop up. The other thing that's really good to see if we focus on the RSI here, a lot of this decreasing momentum that we've seen on the relative strength index, it's become invalidated. It's starting to become invalidated, which is really good to see. The strength, what this is saying in layman's terms, the strength is beginning to resume within the Bitcoin chart. I know price to action today has been subpar, but the relative strength index is telling us that strength is beginning to pick up in the price. If we take a look at the daily here, one of the other key things to take a look at, and you can draw this descending line a couple different ways, but ultimately what I like to see is, I mean, pretty easy to see, right, guys? Appreciate the support on the thumbs up, by the way. You can see this is a descending area of resistance we hit here. Now we broke above. What have we done so far? And what have I routinely spoken to on this channel? When we break an area of descending resistance, you can see yesterday we broke above it. What have we done so far today? So far, if we zoom way in, I think most of you know what I'm about to say. Look what we did. We back tested the descending resistance. We didn't close beneath here and then re-enter this whole zone here, right? All we did when we popped our head up, we retested this descending line. Now this candle body is not bullish. We have a medium-sized red body. We have a medium-sized wick up here and a low wick. I'd love to see this red body here on the daily get a little bit thinner. Maybe close up towards 29,600 would actually be really nice. But regardless, what we have done, the story that is being told on the daily chart, one, we defeated the descending resistance here, which is great. Two, we're having a problem getting above the 50 simple moving average on the daily. Again, we're below the 50 simple moving average. It's going to act as resistance, okay? And third, the third thing I would say, the third story that's being created here is that we've simply back tested the descending resistance, okay? So in my view, we are at a pivotal point for price. I would love to see things continue moving up and defeating this 50 simple moving average within the next coming handful of days here. Now, keep in mind, if you follow me on Twitter, one of the things that I had pointed out to you guys is once we start pushing up, appreciate the love, everybody. Once we start pushing up towards $31,000, that's a key price area that I want you guys to keep in mind. $31,000. Once Bitcoin definitively gets above $30,000 and starts getting to $31,000, you're, in my opinion, okay, and this is an educated opinion, okay, there's no guarantees in charting, the probabilities have significantly increased once we get to 31,000 that we are going to see a surge in volume and we are going to literally crush this area. We are going to crush this, okay? If we go to the weekly, I want to refresh everybody's memory in terms of the main price zone that I'm looking for to get hit next. This is an ugly chart. We're going to get that off. That's not the chart I meant to open. Once we crush that zone, though, the question is, where am I anticipating price to go? I have so many damn charts here. So this is actually on a 2-week chart, but it's still going to communicate the same thing. We're in this red zone right now. We've literally just been consolidating. This is the zone between 35,543. This is the next big target zone I'm anticipating for Bitcoin. We've been creating stair steps, guys. That's all we've been doing. And I expect the next stair step price action to take us to this area and some consolidation to occur in that area. At some point, what you will find if you're newer to the market, it's something I've realized since I've been invested in this market now for 5.5 years. You get price action that looks like this. You get these opportunities of consolidation, okay? At some point, we're going to enter a parabola. Prices will not pull back to levels that most technical analysts are communicating on Twitter and YouTube. That is just a fact. That's not my emotional opinion. That's a fact based on prior history. Again, anytime you want to try to ascertain what you think is most and least likely for price moving forward, you go left. All you literally do is you go left and you analyze the data from the past to try to, I hesitate to use the word predict, but essentially predict what you believe will play out in the future. Let's see who else we have in the house here. Ned, glad to see you, brother. Are we getting out of the poorhouse yet? We're getting there. We're getting there. We're getting there, man. I know it's been... I wanted to tweet this out earlier today. The current state of the market, the way it's been the past several months, and the historic low level of volatility speaks to this. Low level of volatility speaks to this. This is to me the most boring time that I can recall in this market. And when I make that comment, what I mean is whether there is, if you want to call it excitement, whether it's excitement about a move down or whether it's an excitement about a move up, this consolidation, and especially a lot of the price action we've seen in alts, it's been the most boring. I mean, there's no question about it. And it's easy during a time like that when things are boring and they're stagnant and it's uninteresting to not pay attention. I think it is critical if you're invested in this market to absolutely pay attention and make sure that you're staying on top of things, because what you will learn if you haven't been here long, this market moves quick, okay? So just keep that in mind. All right, let's see who else we have in the house. KR, please can you put a gym routine, please, in a video? Be interesting to see you have an awesome physique, bro. Thank you. You know, one thing I want to comment on real quick. Yeah, I think towards the end of a live stream, I can certainly try and share my thoughts on that, because to be honest with you, working out, weight training is unquestionable. It's unquestionable that it is the biggest passion I have in life. It helps to create a balance for me. If I could not weight train, my head would not be on straight. It helps to create an emotional well-being for myself as well, mental well-being, I should say. I can absolutely do that. You know, one of the things I will share with you, and I will reiterate this. I find it fascinating that many people, and we all make assumptions about certain things, but I find it humorous. It's somewhat flattering, and it is somewhat irritating. And I've learned to have a thick skin on social media if someone persists at something and I just mute them. But one thing I do want to communicate to you, and this is very critical to communicate to you, KR, I don't know what point in the journey you are in terms of weight training and physical fitness. Always do things the right way. Don't take any shortcuts. There are no shortcuts in general in life. There are no shortcuts. What do I mean by that? Your body is a temple. Don't put shit in your body you shouldn't put in it. I have never put anything in my body that's questionable or illegal. I've never taken any performance-enhancing supplements. The most performance-enhancing supplement I have ever taken, which I currently take, is protein powder. And I started taking a very, very small dosage, 1/3 of a serving size, of creatine. I've been doing that for a year now. And if I told you how old I was, you wouldn't even believe me. But I've been doing this. I have weight trained nonstop. It's just who I am, nonstop since the age of 14 and a half. 14 and a half. Never taking considerable time off from the gym. I just fucking love it. And I'm very hard on myself, but one thing, and we're going to get back into the charts here in a moment, but one thing I will say, the older I get, I'm really appreciating it more and more. Like, one thing I will give myself credit for, I have worked my fucking ass off to get to where I'm at. No question. And you can do it too. I'm just like anybody else. You can do it if you put your mind to it. What's up, DT? Good to see you. Good to see you. Very good to see you. All right, Kathleen's got some questions. That's good to see. What's up, Remco from the Netherlands? Love to see everybody coming in from these different countries. It brings me a lot of joy. Brian, ask yourself with injuries where the injuries are coming from, man. Dynamic warm-ups before you do weights are critical. Static stretching at the end of your workout is critical. Form is imperative to your success. Deloading is imperative to your recovery. I mean, these are all things that I've learned doing this longer than you would believe. Okay, let's get back to the charts. I'm starting to lose viewers because not everybody wants to listen to weightlifting talk, which is why I will stick that at the end of a video sometime, KR. So I would be happy to. All right. What other charts? I'm going to get into your TA questions, but let's evaluate what's going on in the market. Let's see if anything kind of catches my eye personally. Again, I want to point this out with Digibyte, and especially given my expectations in the market here in the next couple months here. Digibyte to me, as boring as it seems, and I don't know how many of you are actually looking at the chart, but it looks like price has stabilized itself. It's above a key moving average. I believe it's on the weekly, or is it on the 3-day? I think it might be on the weekly that I've been looking at. I believe that, and that's why I put out the video that price action is getting ready to explode. I think Digibyte is setting up for a very large move soon. Something I'm keeping a very close eye on. I own a fat stack of Digibyte. Chainlink, not really seeing too much here. Doge. How about traditional markets? Okay, the S&P is down about 0.7%. Dow's down 0.5%. Again, one of the things I had communicated as we're looking at traditional markets here, you can see the Nasdaq's down a point. The S&P's down 0.75 of a point. Dow's down 0.5 point. One of the things I believe I had communicated on, I don't know, it was a couple live streams ago, wouldn't surprise me one bit. Wouldn't surprise me one bit to see a little bit of healthy consolidation in the stock market. We're less than 5% from all-time highs in all these indices. So the probability of not creating new all-time highs is very slim. That was something I wanted to take a look at with you. I wanted to put factual, statistical, I want to put some stats to that. I want to put some factual information behind that statement. But guys, we're so close to creating new all-time highs. That's not going to do anything but uplift the market and create more confidence in terms of investing and being a risk-on environment to get into things like crypto. What else we got here? Unibot, charts. Caliber Consulting. All right. I'm not sure what that means, but welcome in. Anything else? Let's see. Anything else? How about the OG coins? How are the OG coins doing? By the way, guys, Flare has been an absolute dumpster fire. Look at this Flare chart. I mean, this thing has just been a disaster. Not that, I mean, many airdrops, most airdrops, I bet you if you did a study, if you did an unbiased empirical study on airdrops, most of them tank. My analysis, again, was very logical in terms of where I anticipated Flare to originally open in price. And I emphasized in my Flare video from many months ago where it would open, not that it would keep that price, but man, it didn't even get close to those price levels. Looks like we could be seeing a little bit of a turnaround here, actually. But this thing has just been... Yeah, we could actually see a nice bounce here. I actually like to see... One thing I will point out on Flare, I haven't looked at this chart forever. I wasn't counting on this when I opened it up. Look at the RSI increasing in value. Price is going down. Now it's going sideways. Could see a little bit of a breakout here. Could see a little bit of a breakout. We'll see. I own a lot of Flare. I have it staked and wrapped. And that's not because I necessarily believe in Flare. That's because I owned a lot of XRP at the time of Snapshot because I believe in XRP, not because I necessarily believe in Flare. But you can see we have a little bit of a... We were kind of caught in this triangular formation here. It looks like we're starting to break that price action there. So it'll be interesting to see if we can get a little pop in price. But I don't even... I mean, just to be transparent, however much Flare that I hold... When I've done my own analysis in terms of where I see prices going for my crypto portfolio and trying to hypothesize what's going to be my long-term capital gains tax rate versus short-term capital gains tax rate for the percentage of my portfolio and projecting out where I think things are going, I'm not even factoring Flare in there. I would have to really the price would have to go up astronomically in value for me to sell it. I'll more than likely just keep it staked and wrapped and earn my full reward for doing such. But I don't know. I'm getting sidetracked. That's another conversation. ACH real quick. Did want to point this one out. I tweeted this out earlier today. If you're not following me on Twitter, by the way, you should really consider giving me a follow because I do routine updates on there. Guys, we're in a massive falling wedge here. It's also a bull pennant too. This is a massive pennant. Okay, here's the pole. You see the pole? And by the way, it's not just the price action here in this formation. I want to make this clear so you guys understand what's going on with this formation. It's not just the formation of price action in the chart that is indicative of a bull pennant. I want you to look at the volume profile. Okay, if you look at the volume profile, and again, I really try to keep things stupid simple on this chart. I'm not going into all this level of detail to lose everyone, right? It's finding the right balance to keep technicians that know what they're talking about engaged and people who aren't really good with TA engaged, right? I don't want to lose everybody. But the whole point is, yes, we do have a massive pole, and then we have a pennant formation, right? We have this pennant formation, which is also a falling wedge. But look at the volume profile. Notice that the volume peaks here. And where does it peak? It peaks at the very tippy top of the pole. You see this? Very, very top of the pole here, the volume is peaking. And then what happens to the volume profile? We start to decline. This is very indicative of a pennant and a falling wedge. You see the volume profile play out like that. Now, what would be my expectations for something like this? Well, when it does break, my expectations are that this thing is not going to just shoot up to the moon, right? My expectations is we would see a pop in price. We'd come up to some level of resistance. We might not even get past 2.3 cents. Maybe we see a huge rise in price and we come up to 2.9 or 3.2 cents. But then we're gonna come down. We're gonna consolidate. We're just gonna continue moving higher. So just keep that in mind. This is unequivocally a bull pennant and a falling wedge. So we'll have to see if it plays out or not. Not every pattern does play out, but this thing is pressed right up against here. It's going to be very interesting. And keep in mind, one last thing with this chart. We had a falling wedge back here. And watch what happened. This is another important point to point out here. So you can see we had a falling wedge. Something had to give, something had to give. It just sort of rounded in here. It didn't look like it wanted to do anything for those that can't read charts, right? And then all of a sudden, that's when it popped up and started making those impulsive wave moves up. So I am anticipating something similar, so we'll have to see if that plays out. I didn't really see anything else in the charts to update you guys on, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to your TA questions. Like I said, this is going to be a little bit of a quicker stream. So let me get to your TA questions. Kathleen has a couple here. Kathleen, I'm going to get to your first one. We haven't looked at Elgarond in a while, so let me get to that. I want to make sure to get to everyone, and then if I have time, I'll come back to you. Sound fair? Alrighty then. ELG. I don't think... Surprises me I don't have a chart saved for that, but I know that we've looked at it before, so we will most certainly pull this one up. I apologize. EGLD. I had the ticker symbol fucked up. Sorry about that. I gotta watch the profanity because now that my channel is monetized, YouTube can be a poop head. So I don't wanna get dinged. You know what I'm saying? Okay, so what happened here? Well, we've had a whole lot of consolidation, right? So we had this. And this is a great example, Kathleen, where you have downward resistance, right? And there is literally a probability for everything. So illustrating here what I want to see, right? But it didn't pan out. We broke below, and now we've just been consolidating ever since. And we've actually been going lower, which is not good to see. Yeah, we've just been continuing to churn lower. This set new all-time lows here relative to 2022. Not good to see. So what I would like to do on a chart like this, now that market structure for me didn't pan out how I would have liked to have seen it pan out, and it's changed materially, this is one we haven't looked at in a while, I'd like to sort of refine some of what I've charted out here. So yeah, I don't know how much value this descending line actually holds. Let me see if I can get something of value. Yeah, let's get off the descending line. Let's focus on, I think the only descending line, Kathleen, I would put here maybe, since this bounce here, maybe we could do this. Okay, so we have a new descending line. Whew, eyes are starting to, I've been staring at computer screens for too long today. Fun fact, I do have glasses, but I refuse to put them on for the live stream. Okay, that really fulfills the stereotype for somebody in this analytical role, right? I do have glasses. I have the CBG glasses right here, but we're not putting those on because that just is not, it's not the most beautiful looking thing that you've seen, so we're not going to do that. Let's talk about areas of support first, okay? So I'm going to create a zone for you. Okay, we like to keep it very simple. So I'll have a little price target right there, right around here. Let's not get too cute with price. So we're looking at 30 bucks, okay? $29.97. Sounds like a sale over at Walmart. $29.99. And this is $28.20. I'm going to round this just to keep it simple, okay? So what I would say is this, Kathleen, I don't want to see price go below between 30 and 28, okay? This is really, and again, I'm rounding figures to keep it really stupid simple, but this zone right here, Kathleen, let's not go below there because if we do, look what we're doing. A low, a lower low, a lower low. It's just getting weaker and weaker in price, right? So we need to sustain price action between 28 to 30 to feel convinced that we're ultimately seeing a turnaround in direction of price. Now, where are we going to run into some problem spots? And by the way, this is on a weekly. I apologize. I feel half the time I have a stuffed up nose when I join this live stream. So I should have some tissues with me. Actually, I do have tissues over there. So it looks like we have an area of price confluence at about $38. That's going to be a major area, okay? $38 would be the first area. Now, the one thing, even though I'm not fond of this chart, the areas of price confluence are very easy to identify. So I do like that. Makes it easy charting to kind of share with you what's going on. So we got 46, we have 38, and you know, I would look at this bounce, this lower high right here, right? So a couple things to communicate in this chart. This is 54 bucks. We're just going to make it 54. Kathleen, here's where we're going to come into resistance. We have the descending area of resistance. You can see here we have 38, 46, 54, and then it looks like 63 and 74 bucks, okay? Ultimately, what we want to do to start to feel convinced that we really are seeing a change in trend direction to the upside, we want to begin to take out these lower highs, right? So we want to bounce. We want to take out this first, right here. We want to close above 54. That's step one. Then we want to take out really this area right here. So we want to take out roughly 70 bucks. So then we want to get up in this area and close up here, right? Step one, step two. Once we're up at the 70, 73 area, then we can come back on the channel and kind of reassess price. So I hope that was helpful. Ooh, DT's got a great question. What are your thoughts on potential total crypto market cap? DT, I want to reevaluate that. You're asking me a good question. I haven't looked at that in a while. I know originally when I had looked at that back in 2020, 2021, you know, I had actually put out a video. It's funny you say that. I had put out a video with projections for Harmony One, Decentraland Mana, and Hedera H-Bar, okay? The Holy Crypto Trinity. And at that point, I think I had theorized the total crypto market cap going up to like around 9 trillion. So I want to reassess that. I think last time I was looking at like that $9-10 trillion mark, but need to reassess that. Need to reassess that. Fair question. How high did we get last time? I can't even remember. What did we get up to, like 2 or 3? I don't think we got up to 3. We got up to like 2 something. I think we got up to like 2 something, right? Yeah, we got up to, oh no, we did hit 3. Okay, so we went up to 3.12. Yeah, so definitely, I mean, at least twice that amount. Wow, there is some thunder if you can hear that. Just real quick, DT, I want to get back to you on that. That's a really good question, and I appreciate you asking that. At the very least, I expect it to be double that at 6, pushing 6.5. But I want to come back and reevaluate that. That's a great question. Like I said, I'm glad you asked that question. I need to take a look at that. What other questions do we have here? FET to $5 realistic in a bull run. I feel like there was a question before that. Let me get to that, but thank you for the question, Ned. There was another question. Unibot. Brian, I knew Brian. Okay, Brian asked a question about Unibot. Any thoughts on exchanges? Because there's not a lot of price data here, Brian. Not seeing a lot here. Yeah, this isn't looking... I mean, honestly, Brian, it's kind of hard to do an analysis when you just have 4 weeks of price data, 3.5 weeks of price data. Yeah, man, this isn't going to be very value-added discussion, to be honest. I mean, I'll take a stab at it. I mean, yeah, this... All right, not a lot of price data, Brian. I'm just going to keep it on the daily. I'm not going to go any lower than that. So, very immature data. Now, what I would say is, on a chart like this, and I'm going to take a stab and say this has a low market cap. So, not familiar with the project. We got a high here at 268. All right, let's just draw this at 268. Ultimately, and the thing is, we're not far away from 268. What I like to see on the chart, looks like we have a nice rounding bottom here. And unfortunately, price data is so immature, I can't really tell anything with an RSI or anything like that. But what I will say, Brian, I like to see this nice rounding bottom. And ultimately, we want to push above 268. Whenever or if we do pop above 268, it's anyone's guess how high this could go because we're entering price discovery. Not only are we entering price discovery and it's a blue sky breakout, but this is a really immature chart, so it's really hard to assess kind of where things could go. Now, on any pullback, where would I like to see support hold? I'd like to see ultimately that line right there. Okay, so you see how we bounced? Ultimately, when we came down here, we bounced right here, which is the same as here and here and here. Okay, so right around 103. I really don't want to go, and you can just, you know what, $100 psychological level. So even if we do roll over, we fall short at 268 or we double top, just don't lose this psychological level of $100. So that's what I would say about that chart. All right, what other questions? Maybe I'll take a look at FET. I'll take one more here because we haven't looked at Fetch AI in a while. So what I would do for something like Fetch AI, now what I'm coming up with, as long as there's price data here, which there definitely is, and by the way, this chart looks great and it reminds me a lot of the Graft. Okay, it's an AI play. Definitely enough price data here to form a conclusion in terms of what we could be seeing. So what I would do for a chart like this, okay, now that we know we have price data, what I would utilize are a couple things. One would be the price data itself, okay? I would create some trend-based fib extensions and try to come up with some Fibonacci extensions to come up with some potential price targets. Again, I'm doing that. The point of those Fibonacci extensions, if you guys have caught my TA videos, is to try to use Fibonacci levels to theorize in terms of where prices could go. And you will see that they very, 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 very oftentimes play out. But there's no reason that we have to hit any of those extensions. Fetch could completely fall apart and go to zero. It could double top. It could fall short. But what I will say, looking at this chart, this is a much stronger altcoin from a TA perspective than a lot of other alts that I've looked at. And you know, I'll use Harmony One as an example. As much as I love Harmony One double bottomed. And again, keep in mind what I've said. The order of strength in your altcoins are going to be the ones that created a higher low. This is the strongest, from strongest to weakest. Higher low in 23 relative to 22. A double bottom, which is where Harmony One's at. And then a lower low, okay, in 2023 relative to 2022. That's like your Algorand, okay? So in this case, this low all the way up here is so much higher than down here. Same with the graph. Really great to see. Now, the other thing that I would consider beyond the price data is I would also, from a reasonability check, I would look at its market cap ranking and consider that as well. Of course, you know, this thing, like right now, let me explain to you what I mean by this. This thing is sitting at 160, according to CoinMarketCap, if that's accurate. So I would also ask myself the question of what my expectations are with other projects that I see in a similar market cap ranking. However, something else to keep in mind, there's no reason that Fetch AI couldn't jump up to spot 50, right? That is certainly a possibility, but it's just another factor I consider is other projects in around 160, what do I hypothesize they'll do? Okay, so that's something else I consider. And the last thing is it part of a narrative-driven play? And in this case, this is an AI play. So I would anticipate that Fetch AI is going to perform very well. That would be my hypothesis. And so that would lend itself to a more liberal view, not conservative view, a more liberal view when it comes to Fibonacci extensions. So in this case, you're looking at $5. Right off the cusp, I'm going, well, I don't know, that might be a little bit of a stretch. Let's take a look at what we got here. I would reduce some of the volatility here on some of the wicks. We're going to take our bottom to our top. Depends. So at the very least, based on what I'm seeing, and again, I'm not making these price points perfect, but I at least want to get this top perfect. 120. We're going to be a little conservative and round that down. 126. Okay, so 126. That's the most important point to plot. So we could wick as high. Now the 1.618 fib extension takes us to $2. The 2.618 takes us up to 330. The 3.618, you can see all the price levels here. It really depends how parabolic this thing gets if we break all-time highs, right? So what I would, again, Brian, do I think $5 is possible looking at this? Yes, I do. And the reason being is when I look at these Fibonacci extensions, my best educated guess is, given the narrative that's going to surround artificial intelligence, I think anything with an AI play. Guys, I've spoken to 3 projects so far on my crypto AI set to rise. I have spoken to Alethea AI. Okay, I hold a stack of that. I have spoken to Track Origin Trail. And I have spoken to, what the hell else was the other project I spoke to? I forget. Now I gotta look. This is actually gonna bother me. Shoot. I forget. What did I speak to? Oh my God, injective protocol. Yeah, of course. So injective protocol I also spoke to. But Fetch AI falls in that category. And so I would anticipate this to perform really well. Certainly even just based on its market cap ranking down in that 160 spot, a 30x is certainly possible from current levels. I think, if this thing really outperforms a lot of other projects, you could look at something. I don't think it's unreasonable. I really don't think it's unreasonable to see this thing potentially shoot as high, right between this $4 to $7 range. I don't think that's unreasonable, right between the 3.618, even as high as the 5.618. And as crazy as that seems, and I know the way altcoins are performing right now, but again, all you have to do is when you want to have an idea of how parabolic things can get, all you have to do on any of these charts is go left. Go left, go back in time, see how short of a period of time. Now, we were a different market cap back here, but still, it doesn't take a lot of liquidity to move these markets. Once we kind of got firm footing here out of our beer virus lows and we were sitting at 3 cents, we moved all the way up to 90 cents in a matter of, several months. That was a 30x. So, and ultimately topped up here at about $1.30. So just keep that in mind that once these markets move, it's very swift, and prices oftentimes go a lot higher than people anticipate. So some sort of move, eventually that breaks out and then eventually comes down. You're all maybe topping again. If you caught my Bitcoin video in terms of my expectations going into the halving, right now, again, based on how July panned it out for Bitcoin, sort of leaning in the camp that we're not going to have a blow off top in Bitcoin this year. Not to say we won't see a new all-time high, but sort of leaning more towards seeing a blow off top in the first, I don't want to put a month on it, but really going into the halving. I mean, maybe it's slightly after the halving, but going into the halving. Now, if that does happen, if we think about that for a moment, let's actually say Bitcoin does have its blow off top in April. If that were to happen, you're going to see your alts, depending what altcoins you're talking about, they also will have their parabolic blow off top right in that April, May, June timeframe, depending on when Bitcoin tops, right? So if Bitcoin topped in April, I would suspect all of your projects at the latest would have their blow off tops by June, okay? Most of them would be like a month later as money starts to kind of flood into a lot of those riskier projects, so like right around May. But we'll have to see how things pan out. But it's not unrealistic in this case then to assume that you see something like this. You can actually shift this over a little bit if you really want to get a realistic, view. In my opinion, this would be May. So, you could see some sort of a strong impulse up that ultimately has us topping up here in May towards $4 to $7. So we'll have to see what pans out in the market. Jesus coin is going to be the most talked about. With all the meme coins out there, why does it not surprise me that we brought Jesus into this? If there's one thing we could have done in this community, why did we need to bring religion into it? Oh my God. Jesus coin? You gotta be kidding me. Oh, the Son of God is laughing at all of us. All right, guys, that's all I had today. If you didn't catch the top of the live stream, make sure that you watch it in syndication and catch my comments on Bitcoin. But I will be back tomorrow. I'm also looking to, real quick before you tune out, I was working on creating another TA video, sort of on, not really what I was planning on releasing initially tomorrow, but keep an eye out on Twitter and on my YouTube channel and the video I plan on dropping tomorrow. I feel it's timely to share an update with you on a project. And there are also a couple other projects I wanted to get some technical analysis updates out there on. So I had commented to you XDC, XLM, Solana, as well as Ethereum, and my thoughts on Ethereum flipping Bitcoin in 2024. So with that being said, guys, I hope everyone has a good evening afternoon, or morning, wherever you're at. I appreciate you tuning in. And until next time, let's all spread awareness and carry the education forward. Take care, everybody. Good to virtually see everyone.